the question that a lot of people were talking about on Twitter is, should the Utah Jazz fear the LA Lakers? My answer to that is a hard no. The Utah Jazz are the best team in the NBA right now. They shouldn't fear anybody. Is that a matchup that you should be rooting for? No, it's not. You want whatever it takes in the easiest path to get to the NBA Finals. It's that simple. And I think the Utah Jazz should be happy that they avoided the LA Lakers because that's a tough matchup. Now, having said that, holy cow, the Golden State Warriors, who I think are going to win Friday night and wind up in Salt Lake City on Sunday night, the Utah Jazz are going to have their hands full with Steph and the Warriors, Jake. That's not going to be an easy series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. My takeaway from last night, when I look at like what the lessons would be if you're the Utah Jazz watching this game, are just that like you should see what's coming if you play them, which is, hey, they are not going to allow you to shoot 53s in a game or even 43s in a game. That's not going to happen. And I think for the Lakers, if they were matching up with the Jazz, I think it'd be a really simple thing for them. Hey, we need to take the three ball away, and we need to force them inside to Drummond and AD and let those guys play defense. I thought, in the first half, I thought the Lakers did not play good defense. In the second half, they turned that up, and then you saw them start to control the game. And that's what I think for the Jazz is concerning, because if you guys, obviously it goes without saying, all the people that listen to this show every day are pretty avid Jazz fans. They watch most of the games. So if you've watched most of the games, you come to understand that the Jazz are a team that really thrive and get going when they start knocking down threes early in the game. The momentum builds. Now all of a sudden you're talking about...
they are get hot, stay hot.
That's who they are. Yeah. And so my point is that with the Lakers, they're not going to let that happen. They are going to force the Jazz to go to the hole and play physical. And I just don't know how that turns out for the Jazz. That would be my concern.
Yeah, I think it is pretty remarkable that when you look at the way that the Lakers won this game, I think that's what the Utah Jazz should be worried about. You came out with a lineup that was AD, LeBron, and Andre Drummond. And Andre Drummond, the first 5 minutes, was very effective. But very quickly what we saw was the Golden State Warriors made an adjustment to their lineup. They went small, and they forced Anthony Davis to be on the perimeter because they kind of went to a matchup zone of sorts on the baseline, and the Warriors left no space in the paint, which is exactly, by the way, one of the things we said is, hey, you're going to have to get Anthony Davis on the perimeter if Andre Drummond's going to be effective.
Yeah.
And the Warriors didn't allow that to happen. So where this game was won was Frank Vogel's adjustment to take Trez Harrell out, by the way, who played really well in my opinion, and Andre Drummond out, who had some nice moments, and put Anthony Davis at the 5. That is what should worry the Utah Jazz, because there's not a good matchup for Rudy Gobert against Anthony Davis. There isn't.
Yeah, and I think, I would be curious to see what Jazz fans think about that, because I agree. I don't like if I'm the Jazz, I don't like the AD versus Gobert matchup at all for Gobert, and I just simply would say, think about what happened when Gobert went up against Jokic and when he went up against Embiid. Two guys that can shoot the ball at a high level, two guys that have a little bit of a handle, and two guys that can pass really well. When you look at Anthony Davis, he's potentially better than both of those guys when he's going right. Last night, not an impressive game out of Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, when he's going right, is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, and that's why I say, last night was not a great showing for Anthony Davis, in my opinion. But I think, and a couple people brought this up yesterday, I do think that the Lakers are going to get better as this postseason wears on, and that's a little worrisome, frankly.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a little worrisome.
Liberty Return says Jazz will sweep the Warriors. Good luck with that.
And
I just don't see that.
I don't think they're going to sweep them, but I do think that a 5-gamer is possible. I do think that the Jazz are good enough to control the series from that standpoint, and I do think that it should be expected that the Jazz will beat the Warriors. I think that should be the expectation without a doubt.
I thought I had another bloody nose.
Whoa.
But I'm good.
Whoa.
I'm good.
Okay.
I wouldn't be counting on a sweep. Cody Strickland says, I was thinking the Lakers was going to drop that game, but I'm glad both teams played out of their minds. Shows that none of them wanted the Jazz.
I don't know about
Well,
that. I think you're playing to win the game. You're not thinking about.
well, and I think the more important thing is both these teams need the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors have grinded
Yeah.
to even be in this position. They need the rest. The Lakers, if you watched LeBron last night, that fall he took against Draymond, and Jake, I think your point is very well taken. I don't know how he didn't end his career on that.
Yeah.
Like landing awkwardly on one leg, and it wasn't a leg injury. I mean, the Lakers need rest. LeBron limped around for long stretches. They tried to have a minutes restriction on him. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Because you got to play him. B&B Gaming says, what is Utah's weakness and strengths in your opinion? I'm a Utah fan from London. Oh, hey.
What's up?
Forever blue,
What's
baby.
up, man?
Chelsea. Liverpool won.
Listen.
Liverpool won yesterday, but I'm telling you, we got the top 4 locked.
We almost pissed a bunch of people off yesterday by talking soccer on this show. So be thankful that soccer didn't make the show yesterday, okay?
Why do you say things like that?
What do you mean?
I am a huge soccer fan, for those of you who don't know. Huge. I am a Chelsea Football Club supporter through and through. I was fortunate enough with my friend Wayne Scholes. That's an interesting story. Who I guess we're not friends anymore because we talked politics. He blocked me on like Twitter and Facebook, and but here nor there. My good friend Wayne Scholes, who's a box holder at Liverpool, happened to allow us to watch Liverpool Chelsea on the Gerrard Slip. Like, I've had some great moments in London. That's my favorite city in the world. So B&B, good to see you. The strength and weaknesses of the Utah Jazz, their strength is absolutely that they knock down the three at a very high level. Their strengths are that Rudy Gobert is the premier rim defender and the best defensive player, arguably, in the NBA, because I think there's a lot of great defenders in the NBA. I think those are their strengths. I think their weaknesses are that they lack athleticism. I think the Utah Jazz struggle to defend athletic wings. And I think that Rudy Gobert can be quite easily switched into a matchup that takes him off the rim. And the Jazz are not athletic enough to defend the paint when he's not there. Mm-hmm. I think those are their clear weaknesses. Yep. They will win or they will lose on those weaknesses. Seth Johnson says Grizzlies take the Warriors. Just saying.
Nah. Nope.
San Antonio is not capable of scoring right now. I mean, they are out of gas. I look at the Golden State Warriors. The reason that they did not beat the Lakers is because they ultimately lacked size to defend the paint.
Right.
That's the way the Lakers went. The Warriors, in my opinion, will coast. It's in San Francisco. It's a home game. It's going to be a grinded out first half. Steph Curry is the best player in basketball right now. I think the way he's shooting the ball, I think the way that you're getting bench Poole, frankly, has to be smarter.
Yeah.
JTA has to be smarter. The reason the Warriors lost that game is the reason they've lost a lot of games. Turnovers and stupid fouls. With 9:17 left in the third quarter. I said 9:17. Okay, 2.5 minutes into that third quarter, the Lakers were in the penalty.
How is that even possible?
They were shooting free throws the entire rest of the quarter because the Warriors just came out and started fouling like crazy.
Yeah.
You can't do that and win games. So I'd be careful with that. Casey Finlinson said, I missed most of the game watching my son's baseball game. Summer baseball is the best. Travel ball is great. But the ending of it and LeBron's clutch shot was fantastic. Absolutely. Gronzini, good morning to you. He says, good morning, fam. Cody Strickland. So you're saying that the Jazz fear no one, unlike the Clippers. Yeah, I'm in the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers fear anybody. I think the Clippers did exactly what I would have done.
I just think that using the word fear is the wrong thing to do. Like, no NBA teams don't walk around and look at matchups and say, oh, boy, we're scared of them. Oh, man, we better be careful. Like, nobody plays basketball that way. Dude, bro. I mean,
my friends, we have arrived at a milestone on the show. We now have 750 subscribers.
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the fuck he wants.
That means tomorrow on this show, we will announce the winner of a PlayStation and one of our logo hoodies from our new clothing line. So,
Dude,
get ready.
You guys turned up. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what happened yesterday, but to do like 40 subscribers in a day and a half, that's insane,
crazy.
dude.
Like tomorrow, we will also announce the prize for 1,000 subscribers. It's pretty legit. Like, I'm really excited to announce that because it's kind of a play on some of the haters of this show, and Disney's involved. So it's going to be quite the giveaway.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. Gabe Ledley says 750. Let's go. Exactly right. Exactly right, Gabe. Casey Finlinson says Rudy outside the paint isn't as effective. Exactly right. He also says 750. Congratulations, friends, on the continued success. Thank you. And we could not do this without you guys. I mean, obviously, you can't get to 1,000 until you get to 750, and now we're at 750, and we're on our way to 1,000. So tomorrow morning on the show, again, we'll give away the PlayStation, and we will announce the prize for 1,000 subscribers. I don't know how far we're going to go with these prizes.
I don't know either, dude. I don't know
because,
man.
frankly, I don't know how we're going to top 1,000. It's a pretty awesome prize pack. We'll see. I don't know.
And you guys are always welcome to drop ideas and comments about giveaways and stuff that you thought of. I mean, we were working pretty hard last night trying to brainstorm some ideas, and we came up with a pretty good one. But you know,
Jordan McDonald says Lakers look rough last night. Yes, they did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they looked rusty. Driftwood says Jazz are taking note of all the doubters, as they should.
But whoa! You see what they did there, right? Do you see what he did right there?
Jazz taking note.
They're taking note.
Take note.
Yeah. It's like their hashtag take note. Like, you see, he worked it in there.
Right. I worked it in, like, no, not a mom joke.
Rack attack!
Gabe Ledley says, you guys should thank yourselves for taking no days off. Exactly right.
I want to thank me for having no days off.
Exactly right. Jordan McDonald says, LeBron was great, but he looked noticeably slower and less explosive. The ankle's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. Now, having said that, it's not an excuse. It's a problem. If they'd have lost that game, it wouldn't be because of LeBron's ankle.
No.
I think
the ankle wasn't a problem when he knocked down that shot. Just want to point that out.
The lift was there when he shot that jumper. My point is that I think you're looking at a Laker team that's getting better with every minute that passes. With every day of rest for LeBron, his ankle's going to be better. I look at the fact that their supporting cast is better. Alex Caruso is a better player because AD and LeBron were out of the lineup. I look at just like I was a little surprised that Horton Tucker didn't play more minutes last night.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised that, they rotated such a short bench in the second half. But look at the guys that the Lakers were playing in the second half. It's Kuzma. It's KCP, who again last night, we can talk about championship players, and I've said all year long that their depth is elite depth. Why is it elite depth? Because Kentavious Caldwell-Pope knocks down several big threes. And by the way, is nobody going to talk about the fact that he made the pass to LeBron to hit the shot?
Yep.
And now it was a broken play, but greatness always comes out of broken plays.
Well, and you got to be, if you're KCP, you have to be aware. You have to know where LeBron is to make that pass. So
yeah, and I think it speaks to the fact that the Lakers can play multiple different styles.
Yeah.
That, to me, stands out quite a bit.
And the other thing I would say, too, is I'm really, like last night watching the game, I couldn't believe that a LeBron James-led team mentally was not as locked in as they could possibly be. That was surprising to me.
Well, and I think that was part of the issue with San Antonio last night. San Antonio lost, or the other night, I guess it was. No, last night. Mm-hmm. San Antonio lost to Memphis last night because they were out of gas mentally.
Yeah.
I mean, and you watched the last 5 minutes of that game, and who stepped up for San Antonio? Rudy Gay, a veteran who's been there and who's competed at that level. It's very difficult to compete at the level that guys like LeBron and Steph are competing at right now unless you've been there before.
Yeah.
And to perform the way I hope people understand how difficult the shot LeBron hit was last night. And I don't buy the 3 rim thing. My eye, oh my God, my eye. If you're 100%, that's a really difficult shot. He didn't step into it. That's from 3/4 court. That's Dame time.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a shot that LeBron practices. You hand him the ball in a panic with the game on the line. You're at 58 seconds or whatever, and he drops it to the bottom.
Yeah.
Not bang off the rim. That was wet.
Yeah.
That's it. That speaks to the greatness and the ability of LeBron James. Kyle Kuzma's not hitting that shot.
No.
Right? If you go down the list, you can think of the best players in the game last night, and most of them are not hitting that shot.
There's only one other guy that's making that shot.
And it's Steph Curry.
That's it.
And I think
That's it.
even Damian Lillard's going to have trouble with that shot because Dame needs to step.
Yeah.
Dame needs to be set. Look at the replay. LeBron's not set on that shot.
No.
LeBron's not stepping into that
Well,
shot.
and if you look at his shot mechanics too, he has a bad habit of leaning back a little bit during his shot, like as he rises up. So, and they're just showing it on repeat here. Like it's a phenomenal shot. Like that's why Steph Curry after the game saying, "Hey, look, man, he made a shot. What are we gonna do?"
His hand mechanics are terrible. On that shot, his hand mechanics were perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, his follow through, it's gooseneck. It's everything you want in a great shot.
Yeah.
What is it that we've seen that LeBron cannot do?
Yeah.
And I don't know that we've figured out anything he cannot. He's playing on a leg and a half. The ankle has clearly cost him explosiveness. So he drops 10 dimes. And he's getting to the basket. And he's Euro stepping on a fast break.
That was a beautiful Euro step. Yeah.
You can hate LeBron. You can call him LeBum. I mean, if there are moments when he hit that three last night, he's the best player in the world.
Yeah, look, I'm not. I've never been on the bandwagon of LeBron's the greatest of all time, but he's definitely one of the greatest of all time. And last night, I think that was just one of those moments where you got to take your hat off to him, man. Like I as much as the other guys, the supporting cast for the first half wasn't really locked in, LeBron was locked in. I mean, yeah, he had some rough shots starting the game. But at the end of the day, he led his team to victory, and that's all you can ask. And I'm just telling you guys, and he briefly touched on it last night in the postgame where he said, yeah, now we have a few days off before we got to go and play Phoenix, And those days off are valuable. Those days off are huge, especially in today's game when you've got modern medicine, you've got modern rehab techniques, like you've got all this stuff to help you. Hopefully, for Game 1 in Phoenix, he's 100% healthy. And we'll cover this probably, what's today, Thursday? We'll definitely talk about it tomorrow more in depth. But this series, Lakers-Suns, is going to be one of the best series that we see in the postseason, I think.
Who's the best team in the Western Conference right now?
I
still think you got to say it's the Jazz.
I think you got to say it's the Jazz until somebody says we'll see you later.
I still have a lot of concerns about Don. Like I really want to see Donovan Mitchell come back with lift.
You know what it is, though?
Explosiveness. I want to see Don be Don.
You know what's scary about the Don thing? We're not hearing anything.
Nothing.
They're not talking about it. They're not like, and this is one of those things where, again, to their credit, got to give them credit here. This is what happens when you're the 1 seed. You get to chill in the background, take some days off, rest, do your thing. That's the advantage. Nobody's talking about the Utah Jazz last night, right? Briefly mentioned it on the broadcast, but other than that, no one's talking about you. And that's exactly how they want it to be. But on this show, I'm telling you guys, you should be concerned. Last night, if anything, what you saw out of LeBron James, you should expect that level of rustiness out of Donovan Mitchell in the first half of whatever the first game it is he plays. If he just comes back and lights the world on fire, okay, more power to you, because I just don't think that's realistic right out the gate. I think he needs some reps.
Yeah, Chet says Lakers are trash. I'm not worried at all.
Dude.
See, again, a lot of people are saying that. What I saw last night was strength, not weakness, out of the LA Lakers. And the reason I say that, and what I would ask you to consider, is this a team that played an awful, at times embarrassing first half? They should have, by all right, lost that game. Why didn't they? Because they have veterans who have won championships who know how to endure. They have veterans who know how to hit shots. That was not weakness, that was strength. And you watched a team that came back, and when the chips were down, they relied on their guy. And he came through. That's strength, not weakness. And I'm telling you, in this league, you've got to have the guy who can come through. It's one of the things I've always said about the Jazz. Who's the guy who can come through?
Well, you know the answer.
Well, it needs to be Don.
Yeah.
But Conley didn't give him the ball in the bubble.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Don
I think a lot of people forgot about that.
Don hasn't had that opportunity. And I'm not saying Conley was wrong to shoot. The guy's an elite three-point shooter. Donovan Mitchell needs that moment. LeBron's had it. It's LeBronto. Kyrie won a championship with a jumper.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's got multiple rings. I look at the guy in Brooklyn is James Harden. Hasn't done it. But he's got two guys around him who have. Like I look at like Milwaukee. Milwaukee doesn't have that guy, or at least no guy on that roster's done it. I look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia doesn't have a guy. They watch Kawhi do it. They don't have a guy who's done it.
Yeah.
To be elite, you need a guy to hit a shot. And again, Jazz fans, I'm not trying to tweak you this morning. I'm really not. But when's the last time you saw a team who's never been there go there?
I try to stay calm and not curse.
You look at, and I'll just go back to my guy Mike and the Mechanics, right?
Yeah.
You look at what Michael Jordan went through before they won a championship. He went through the Pacers, the Knicks, the Pistons. They were battle tested. They were ready. When they ran into the Phoenix Suns, they were ready. When they ran into Portland, Seattle, the Jazz, they were ready. When the biggest moments came, and again, Jazz fans, I would just tell you, hate me if you want, Jordan didn't win the championship just on that one shot alone. Stripping Karl Malone, going coast to coast, that's a championship play, right? The Bulls made plays. Are the Jazz ready to be that team? Now, going through the bubble last year would have really made a difference. Losing to Denver, I don't know, was that your Pistons, Pacers thing? The shot on Elo?
I mean, it definitely was gut-wrenching to lose that game, for sure.
But did the Bulls win a championship the year after Jordan hit the shot on Elo? No. No, they didn't. They won a championship when they built a team, and it wasn't just Mike and Scotty. They called up Mike and the Mechanics for a reason, because it was Craig Hodges and Stacey King and Horace Grant and all of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't see all of those guys. That's the biggest thing. When people ask me about the Jazz, and a lot of people tweet at me and ask me, and I talk to a lot of people around the country about the Jazz. The one thing I say is they don't have a guy who's been there.
Yeah.
Who's their championship guy?
Yeah. Well, I think they're hoping to change that this year,
Well,
and I think that yes, experience isn't on their side. However, I do think that in a league that is built on three-point shooting, this team exemplifies three-point shooting. So it's a very simple task at hand. It is, hey, we got to execute offensively and we got to create open looks, because when they get open looks, they knock them down.
I mean, and again, I just go back to the Lakers last night. Mm-hmm. That team's not going to panic when they're tied or when they're down late in the game.
Well,
they're not going to panic.
Listen, I think versus the Jazz, the Lakers, and this is what I think you guys got to start coming around to a little bit, which is the Lakers are not going to allow the Jazz to go on the fast, 9, 10, 12-0 run by hitting a couple of threes. They're not going to let that happen. I truly believe that if these two teams match up later this postseason, the Lakers are going to die on the hill of, hey, you're going to have to drive the paint. That's what's going to happen if you want to score. I truly believe that. Yes, the Jazz are going to keep playing pick and roll, but I just think last night showed you that the Lakers have more than enough guys to push out on the three-point line. I mean, I would not be surprised to see the Lakers picking up Mike Conley or Donovan Mitchell or whoever's bringing the ball up at half court. Pick them up early, right? Make them work to get into the offense. That is what I think. That is what I think will separate ultimately the Lakers from the Jazz if they were to play, because I think the Lakers, with the depth and with the roster that they have built, they can afford to have their starters work really hard, and then they can bring fresh legs in, and those guys can work really hard. Whereas the Jazz have, as we've seen, Quinn in big games really plays like 8 guys, 7, 8 guys. That's it. So that's why I say, yes, the Jazz are the best team in the league. No doubt about it. They deserve all the credit in the world, 100%. But I'm just telling you, it's not as clean cut as you guys think it may be.
No, and by the way, that was in the regular season.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the bracket the way this is, being the number one seed is everything you need it to be, because the road for the Lakers, in my opinion, is much more difficult than the road for the Jazz. The Jazz are probably going to play the Warriors. The winner of that series is going to play the Clippers or the Mavericks.
The Jazz should win that series in 5.
They should. And I think your biggest concern is the Clippers beating Dallas, because I think the Clippers are going to beat Dallas.
Yeah. They should beat Dallas. They're a more complete team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you look at the bottom half of this bracket, it's Nuggets and Blazers. Either one of those is a handful for the Suns or the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think the Western Conference playoffs are going to be sensational. The Jazz, I mean, are the Utah Jazz better than the LA Clippers in a 7-gamer? I don't know. What Clippers are going to show up?
Yeah, that's the question. That truly is the question.
Are the Utah Jazz better than the Golden State Warriors in a 7-gamer?
Yes.
No doubt about it. Better than the Dallas Mavericks in a 7-gamer? No doubt about it. I look at the Denver Nuggets. Are the Utah Jazz better than the Denver Nuggets?
Yes, but not by a lot.
But not by a lot. Are they better than the Portland Trailblazers? Yeah. But that's still, the matchups are very difficult for the Jazz. Are they better than the Phoenix Suns? I don't think so. I think those two teams are even.
I think matchup-wise, that's about as even as it gets.
Are the Utah Jazz better than the LA Lakers?
No.
No, they're not.
No. They're even.
And I think that's why the only way you see the LA Lakers now is in the Western Conference Finals. And I think if you're a Jazz fan, I think you feel good about what happened last night. And I told you on the show yesterday morning,
yes,
you better be rooting for the Lakers.
Yes.
Because if you'd have seen the Lakers in the 8, I'm telling you, you'd be out in the first round. Especially with the way LeBron hit that shot, you know it's in there. And the way that Frank Vogel adjusted, and he took out Drummond, and look at the way he used Wes Matthews.
Yeah.
Flipping Wes Matthews.
Yeah.
Played a huge role last night for the Lakers. That's what makes them so dangerous. The Jazz, again, I would favor the Jazz in most series. The Suns and the Lakers, I don't know that I would favor them. By the way, you want to know who got a huge break here?
Uh-huh.
The Philadelphia 76ers, winning the number 1 seed in the East, absolutely put them into the NBA, the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Because you are not going to see both the Nets and the Bucks, who are going to run into each other in the second round. I have no doubt that the Nets are going to stomp the Boston Celtics. With all due respect to JT, I just don't think he's good enough on his own.
Yeah.
Especially not against the Nets. Then you have Milwaukee and Miami. I don't know who wins that series.
Yeah. I think there's a good shot Miami wins a series in postseason basketball.
Bam is uniquely built, and his length and physicality allows him to compete with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, by the way, if he gets a single MVP vote, the award should be eliminated.
What are you, nuts?
Eliminate that award, because I'm telling you right now, Steph Curry should win it. Nikola Jokic will win it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Mirzinski, good morning to you, my friend. He says, when's the last time the Lakers just didn't show up in the playoffs? I don't know.
Yeah, they don't, because it's LeBron.
Yeah, the Pistons series in the NBA Finals many years ago. Spencer Morgan, good morning to you. The Jazz, along with a handful of other teams, have taken the 3 and rim analytics-based offense to a new level this year. They had a historically great offensive regular season. Now, I would agree with that. Here's my question, though. When does 3 and D win you when has it ever won you an NBA championship?
Yeah.
I don't know that it has, because even the years the Warriors won, Steph had some historically bad finals, historically bad shooting runs. You are always going to go you're going to go cold. It's 2 months.
Yeah.
Do you understand how long 2 months is? Here, let me explain it. How good were the Jazz in February?
Good.
Really good.
Yeah.
How good were they in April?
Not good.
Not so good, right? Up and down, not so good. That's 2 months. This is a 2-month grind where you are absolutely dragging your sack on the ground by the time you get to the Western Conference Finals, because these series are not easy. They're not easy at all. Cody Strickland says, we beat them for the last 3 years in a series, and Lou Williams was an answer to Donovan. Okay, Cody, I love you, buddy. The LA Clippers are better than they've ever been. And Rajon Rondo, I think, is a critical addition. Ivica Zubac is playing very good
Look
basketball.
At the last matchup. Look at the last matchup. Dude.
I mean, they're high pick and roll with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And by the way, Kawhi's back, and the jumper looks unbelievable. Those long ass fingers and stuff.
Listen. I'm certainly no Clippers fan or apologist, right? Like I think the Clippers have a lot of proving to do.
No, please don't.
But a couple of things here. A couple of things that are at play with the Clippers. Number one, you've got Tyronn Lue coaching that team. Right, so the question with Ty Lue is, hey, this guy's won championships, but was that because of LeBron or was that because of him? My opinion is that was because of LeBron and Kyrie. That's just my opinion, though. Number two, I look at Paul George and I look at Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi has shown the ability to do it in the clutch, right? With the moment in Toronto, he won championships as a young kid in San Antonio.
The moment in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, he had a moment. Okay, great. He had a moment. He did nice things, dude. And then they go on to win the finals. Okay, cool. You did that. The biggest X factor in that series is Paul George. Is Paul George going to disappear again in the postseason, or is he actually going to show up and do something?
It's a big question.
Because at the end of the day, there's no questioning if Paul George shows up and is 30 and 30 points, 8 boards, couple of dimes. That's going to be really tough on the Jazz, but I can't confidently say he's going to show up. So. Again, my question for the Utah Jazz, no matter who they're facing, is what are you going to do when teams are committed to stopping the three-point shot? Because they will be committed. You will not have these situations where you've got Niang wide open in the corner to hit an easy three. That's not happening.
No.
It's not. Teams are going to commit to, hey, we will be happy for you to take a layup, right? We'll be happy with that, but you're not getting threes against us. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
No, and I think we saw last night, what did the Lakers do to combat what the Warriors do?
Yeah.
Which is make dagger threes. They made Steph's life impossible.
Bro, they doubled Steph the entire game.
Which is why him scoring, 37 points last night is amazing. I mean, but there is another component. Ace says LeBron's going to get all the calls just the way Jordan did. Okay, did you watch the first half of the Laker game last night? I mean, and there was a huge debate on Twitter about this.
Oh.
LeBron didn't get a single call last night in the first half.
Yeah.
Now, in the second half, I don't know why the Warriors changed their opinion, or their plan, rather, excuse me, and all they did is foul in the third quarter, stupidly. The Lakers did not get, I would say, a single call. There's an Alex Caruso layup off the fast break that I retweeted, and that guy gets absolutely blown up in the air, no call. I look at Anthony Davis shooting a three at the end of the first quarter, and Draymond Green, Davis is up here. Draymond Green's arm is between Davis's hands, and you can see that Draymond hits his left hand and knocks it out of the way. No call. The Lakers didn't get all the calls last night.
Yeah.
I don't know what game you were watching. Amar, I'm just going to stop at Amar. Everybody doubting LeBum is an idiot. The Lakers are dangerous. Yeah, I without question. Brandon Whiteside, good morning to you, says getting all the calls sure helped Jordan.
Here we go.
Do you know what the Jordan rules are?
Listen.
Do you know how the Jordan rules started?
Look, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, dude. You Jazz fans can die on the hill of, hey, it was a push off or whatever. At the end of the day, Jordan made shots, you guys didn't, and that's that. Let it go.
You're not by the way, you're not making that call in the NBA Finals. It is. Do you understand that it is earned? That's what was so shocking last night. Respect from officials in the NBA is earned. And maybe that's why Caruso doesn't get the call on that fast break.
Yeah.
But it's shocking that LeBron and AD weren't getting calls at Staples Center.
Yeah.
Who's the superstar on the Jazz who's earned that right? Frankly,
what does earning it look like, though?
Being a superstar and not whining and complaining every single time the whistle blows. And I think this is what I've said about Rudy Gobert all year long. Mm-hmm. You can't constantly, every single call. And he stopped, thankfully, the last week of the season. But if you watch,
is that all?
Yeah, if you watch Rudy Gobert this year, every single time the whistle blew, he complained. Every single time the whistle did not blow, Rudy Gobert complained. I just can't fathom that NBA officials, knowing how they work, that NBA officials are going to absorb that from Rudy Gobert during the playoffs. They're not. You can't. Draymond Green last night complaining about every single call.
Almost got ejected.
Gets a technical and then almost gets ejected.
Yeah.
But you can't live that way. At some point, you have to do what LeBron's learned to do. Complain about a couple of calls, but then on the really bad, egregious no call in the second quarter, just bite your mouth guard and run down the floor. And so what happened in the third quarter? They started getting calls. Now, a lot of that is the Warriors were really stupid in the way they were fouling. Do not foul LeBron James on a breakaway. Like when he's running at you, olay it. Do not foul him. Why foul him on
It's 3 points.
It's really foolish.
It's 3 points.
And I look at fouling Steph Curry. Why would you ever foul Steph Curry on a three?
Yeah, 90%
you want to talk about a guy that
shooter.
gets calls? What if you are even looking at him while he shoots a three? They're going to blow the whistle. Mm-hmm. Why would the Jazz don't have that guy? Who is that guy in the Utah Jazz? Because they ain't Donovan Mitchell.
No,
Donovan Mitchell's finding out the hard way that being up in the air at the rim doesn't mean you're going to get a call.
Yeah.
So I would caution you on that. Spencer Morgan says, would love to hear you guys have a sit down with David Locke. That would probably not go well. Throw in some sound bites, my boy Jake. See, people want to know where the drops are.
What, dude? What am I supposed to say? What do you want?
Fuck you.
You want some Tony Montana? You want some
whatever.
LeBron?
Don't start running it out.
You know what do you want? Like, come on.
Seek YT says, happy 750 followers. Thank you very much. James Knight says, I don't think LeBron is fully fit, which is alarming if he does. He won't be. LeBron James will not be 100% this season.
It is what it is, man.
And the other thing I thought was interesting is that he talked about it before the game, like off camera, he was talking about how his rehab was a 6-week grind.
Yeah.
Every day for the first 4 weeks of it, twice a day. He's rehabbing. Do you know the grind that is? Do you know how physically difficult it is to rehab an ankle?
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I'm fried.
Where you almost broke your leg? Like that, of course he's out of gas. That's why winning last night was mandatory. Because now he gets 3 full days off, and you're probably going to be much more physically ready Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Why do you think the Jazz have the late game Sunday? Because whoever plays Friday night then has to turn around and fly to Salt Lake City to play Sunday.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Maybe it should have been a higher seed.
Yeah. Forgotten Soul says, I want better effing execution.
Well, I'm sure you do.
It sounds like, Austin Parkin says, sounds like you guys think the Lakers have the championship in the bag.
You guys are working hard this morning.
Yeah, partially they have it in the bag. I would agree with that. No, they do not. Suns Rule says, welcome to the Jazz bashing show. How have we bashed the Jazz at all?
Here
on
we
this
go.
show?
So I love it. So this is somebody new clearly on the show. I haven't heard
Suns
that name.
Rule. I haven't heard that name either. Welcome to the show. Suns
welcome
Rule.
to the show. Everybody says that when they join the show. The problem is, and listen to the show more. Go back and listen to our prior shows. Haven't been wrong once. People have said it on Twitter. People say it in the comments all the time. We're not hating on the Jazz. We're telling you how it is. And when it plays out the way we play it out, I highly doubt you're going to come in these comments and say, oh, well, this is the Jazz hating show. No, we're actually going to talk about what the Jazz are going to do in the offseason that they should have done at the trade deadline. So that's what this show's about, bro.
Look, and I think, by the way, Suns Rule, I don't know if you just got to the show. We just sat here for 5 minutes and talked about the Jazz being the best team in the Western Conference. I think arguably in the NBA. I don't know who the Brooklyn Nets will be by the time they either get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, but they've had tons of injuries, so we'll see if they stay healthy. I don't know if Mike Conley's going to be in how long Mike Conley plays through the playoffs.
Reliability issues, man.
Your best ability?
Your availability. Simple as that.
Comes down to that. Suns, they're being realistic. Thank you, Sean Mierzinski. Appreciate that. Take note. Go Jazz. I believe. Louis Selder says.
And you should believe. You should.
Look, and I'll say it again because it's true. The Utah Jazz are an elite basketball team. But the thing that scares me is they rely on the 3-ball to win games.
Listen, when you talk X's and O's with the Jazz, people don't want to hear that side of the conversation. The Jazz fans want to talk about, hey, this is a dominant 3-point shooting team. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say the media that covers this team, here's what you're going to hear out of the media. Hey, this is a dominant 3-point team. When Donovan Mitchell goes down, we're not going to ask about him. We're not going to talk about him. We don't want any updates on him. Just let me know when he's coming back, right? So the difference is on this show, we're going to give you X's and O's. We're going to tell you how and why we're worried about Lakers Jazz potential Western Conference Finals. And by the way, we're also going to tell you, hey, the Jazz are going to kick the hell out of the Warriors if the Warriors win on Friday night, in a 1-8 seed. The Jazz are going to handle them in 5 games, no doubt about it. The question is, what are they going to do in the second round against potentially the Clippers? That's when things get real. So it's not that we're just hating on the Jazz, but we're also not going to sit here and say that this is going to be some cakewalk and that the Jazz are going to go to the NBA Finals, because we're not there yet. That's just not, you can't say that yet.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see. I look at the schedule for the playoffs. The first 2 games will be Sunday and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. For the Jazz?
For the Jazz.
Yeah.
Sunday at 9:30 Eastern, which is 7:30 Mountain. Wednesday at 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain. And then listen to this schedule. The Jazz are going to sweep whoever they play, I think. This is crazy. Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday. And those 2 games are on the road Saturday, Monday. Like, you play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday for the first 3 games. The Jazz are going to be well rested. You would think if Donovan Mitchell is struggling at all, he's going to have plenty of time to recover. And I mean, that is a great schedule. If you are if you're the Utah Jazz, that's as good as it can be. Like, I'm looking at I don't see an update on Donovan Mitchell.
No, because there's not one. They're not. I'm telling you, they will not release info on Donovan Mitchell. That's not happening. It's not. This team does not do that, and they're not forced to do it because nobody asked them about it. Nobody that covers this team is asking the hard question of, hey, what's the update on Donovan Mitchell? Is he going to be available for the first game?
Is Donovan Mitchell playing game 1?
Yeah, nobody wants to ask that question, and I really don't understand it. I don't. I don't know why the Jazz somehow get a free pass in this town, because this is your best player. If he's not playing, you guys honestly feel like your chances of beating, whoever is still just as good? Well, of course it's not. You don't have Donovan Mitchell. So I don't know, man. I just think that it's highly convenient that they're not talking about Donovan Mitchell. That said, we went to the Portland game last week. He was walking around. In my opinion, he looked fine. Like he could play a game, even if he wasn't 100%. So my opinion is I think he will play. I don't think he's going to miss time. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's really interesting that it's been so quiet. So that's definitely something to watch. Suns Rule says, I was just messing with you. I just disagree. Don does not get friendly calls from the refs. He was respected a lot. Don does not get friendly. He doesn't get calls. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, Donovan Mitchell gets pounded at the rim on a regular basis. But he also
dictates that, though.
He does.
He also creates a lot of contact. And I think there's this kind of low-key conversation that goes on in the NBA about, with officials, okay, well, if the offensive player is creating the contact, what's a foul and what's not a foul, And I think that's a very gray area, which is why Don gets some fouls, but not other fouls.
Yeah. Cody Strickland says, live 3 or die hard, bros. Yeah,
Dude,
exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, straight up.
Eric C. says, Suns in 7.
I don't know,
I don't know what to make of that. Sorry, I left. Somebody said, I'm tired of looking at Jake. My bad.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
I don't know what to make of Lakers Suns. Yeah. I'm going to need a day to chew on that, because I think, man, I think that's going to be an incredible series. And I think you're going to see an enormous amount of pick and roll on both sides of that.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how do the Lakers match up with the Suns? What's their starting 5 going to be? Because
they're running their size out there for sure.
I think you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
I think you have to. That'll. You
got to create a matchup issue for Anthony Davis.
Yep. Tanner Plummer says, "Is it safe to say that you guys are soothsayers? You guys haven't been wrong about the Jazz once. Sorry if I'm being a suck up. Well, everybody likes to be slurped. Anyway, truth be told, Forgotten Soul says the Dubs is the most cringy team nickname.
Well,
yeah, I don't disagree with that. James Lane says, guys, Dom will be ready for game 1. Don't kid yourself.
hey.
I hope you're right.
Hey,
I hope you're right.
I think he's going to play, but again, I just, out of a 1 to 10 scale, the concern is like a 2 or 3, nothing major, but it's just interesting that nobody's talking about it. That's all I'm saying.
I would agree. Let's see. Omar Lazama says, love the talk show. Keep it going. Keep it real. Love it. Go Jazz. Appreciate you. Jake,
Thank
how
you,
many
sir.
miles you got on the STI? Eric C. says.
25,000.
Tanner Plummer says, SLCP shooter. They need to get credentials. SLCP shooter.
Yeah, we do need credentials. No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Somebody hook it up.
I need sleep more than I need credentials. It's just, it'll be, I love the NBA. I'm a huge NBA fan.
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right. Update on subs. Yes, we are at 750 subs.
People want to know. They want the update.
I want my PlayStation. Well, by the way, again, I just ask,
Yeah.
why is PlayStation so hot?
Yeah, can somebody explain this to us? Like, we were talking about this, and I truly don't understand why the PS5 is just so in demand. Like it's not even that it's that much better of a console than the PS4. Like, I was comparing them the other day. The only real difference is 8K resolution. And most TVs right now, your average Joe TV can't even support 8K resolution.
Most people don't have the capability to display 4K on their TV. Because of all the streaming and whatnot, like you need incredible speed process. So 8K is great, but how many people can really leverage 8K? And I thought the buzz around our Xbox giveaway was pretty significant. Like the buzz around this PS5 thing has been ridiculous. Like
I want it.
every day, people are like, "Hey, am I in? Am I in? You're in."
We get it. We get it.
It's like in trying to procure a PS5 to give away has been next to impossible.
It's really unfair.
I mean, it has been like GameStop yesterday released bundles of PS5s. Their system was broken.
And it's going to go into crisis lockdown mode here at the house.
Yeah, their system was broken because so much demand for PS5s.
Yeah.
I'm amazed by it. I'm absolutely amazed by it. So we're doing our best. We have procured one. What are you guys doing, sir? You're giving away an 8K TV. That's what you're saying. No, Ace.
No, that's not what we said.
No, Ace. I'm not.
No, we were talking about the differences between PS5s and PS4s.
I'm not giving away an 8K TV.
No.
Is there such a thing as an 8K TV?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ironic comment, by the
Yeah.
way. I think it'll be interesting. So yes, tomorrow on the show. But by the way.
Whoa.
By the way,
dude.
Tomorrow is our 500th episode.
God bless.
Of this show.
Bro, how insane is that?
On the same day that we do our 500th episode of the Monty Show,
Wow.
we are also going to give away the PS5 and our new clothing line logo hoodie.
Wow.
For 750 subscribers on the same day that we do our 500th episode of this show.
You're welcome.
That's unbelievable.
It's crazy how that worked out. Can't
Wow,
believe
wow,
it, dude.
wow.
Can't believe it,
That's
dude.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
the Monty Show karmic gods are watching out for us.
We're getting somewhere.
By the way, real quick before we rip Tim Tebow, not me, you, the commenters. Real quick, do you believe in lucky objects? So I do. My wife passionately disagrees with me. She hates that I believe in luck.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some Air Jordan 11s.
Yeah.
Lows. I can't remember the name of them. I can't either. Anyway, the all white with the blue sole, beautiful shoe. I put it on the other day for half the day. Closed a deal at the Yelpatory. Took them off.
Legend Blues,
11 lows, Air Jordan. Took them off, didn't close a deal. I was like, damn.
What would I do without you?
So yesterday, I put them back on. Closed a hat trick. That means I closed 3 deals at the Yelpatory.
If you guys ever want to kick it, we'll flow.
Yeah, I'm rich. It's good. I had an amazing day yesterday. Could do no wrong.
Right.
Closed 3 deals.
Right.
Tell me it's not the shoes.
Uh-huh.
Telling you, it's the shoes, man. I have several pairs of shoes that I believe when I wear them, I will have a good day.
The answer is yes.
Yep, I have some checkerboard Vans that are slides that you don't no laces. They just slide on.
Right. That's why they're called slides, because they just slide on. Like,
Thanks, Dick.
Yeah.
I also have some Air Jordan casuals that are like woven casual shoes. Every time I wear them, I know it's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe you have lucky objects?
No. I mean, I think that I don't believe that the shoe is making you clothes better, but here's what I do believe. I think that if you dress well and you feel good, you're gonna work better. You're gonna perform better, And I think that there's no better feeling than when you're having a tough morning and FedEx shows up right about 11 o'clock. You throw on the new shoes.
You cannot do that.
You throw on the new shoes, and what do you know?
That's bad karma right there.
How's that bad karma?
You cannot put
How
on
does
new
that work?
shoes in the middle of the
How
day.
the hell does that work?
You cannot put on new shoes in the middle of the
What the fuck does one thing have to do with the other?
That's amazing. You cannot put on new. I'm telling you, it's bad. It breaks the streak. Niall Gardner says, "Do you wear them to bed?" No, because I have no luck in bed at night. Trust me. Tanner Plummer says,
Vexes me.
Tanner Plummer says it's the shoes. Mick says, "Oh, no, it's not." No. John, I'm saying.
Okay.
Says it's the underwear. I wear Under Armour boxer shorts, which, by the way, best in the business. Steve-O says you must be married then, correct? Gabe Levely says Monty sounds like a Mars Blackman commercial. It's got to be the shoes. What about the lucky baseball, Monty? It's sitting right here on my desk.
Yeah.
I have a baseball that's in my hand most of the day. My wife has one of those stress ball baseballs, and all she does is throw it at me.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
Balls are important. Balls are important. Why do people equate marriage and sex? I don't know. It's a common joke. It's been going on for decades.
Whoever came up with that shit need to be fired.
Well, there you go. I do believe in lucky objects. I do. I believe in karma. I believe in the universe. I don't believe in being a Pisces because that's never gotten me anywhere. I used to read like astrology all the time. I don't anymore because, I'm a fish and I can't swim. Actually, I can swim. Although last time I was in Hawaii, I almost drowned in the ocean. But anyway.
Whatever.
I'm more of a whale than a fish, but it's a long story. Anyway, the point is, I do believe in lucky objects.
Okay.
Speaking of Tim Tebow.
Uh-huh.
Tim Tebow signed his contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
God bless.
He will be in practice today, and he is going to compete for a spot as a tight end.
Yeah.
And the debate has been hot, sweaty, and heavy.
Well, not because it's Florida, though.
Well, it's humid.
Yeah.
So Tebow's probably moist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
The point is, Tim Tebow's trying out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is this anything more than a stunt?
No.
You think this is 100%?
I think this is a PR grab. I think this is, and this is your point, which is, and ESPN's talking about it too. Like, they're signing him to take the pressure and the attention off of Trevor Lawrence, and they're trying to allow Trevor Lawrence to get into the league comfortably and, kind of get into the groove without constantly having to do media, which is fine. I get it. Like, I understand. But at the end of the day, Tim Tebow, I just don't understand why everyone hates Tim Tebow. Like, listen, if he makes the team as a second string or a third string tight end, who gives a damn? Good for him, dude. Like, I really just don't, like, I don't know what he did to upset the masses. Like, he had that great moment against the Steelers.
Oh, it's God for sure. It's the God thing. Tim Tebow is hated because he kneels in prayer before games. He thanks God every time he steps up to the podium.
Mm-hmm.
When he walks off the podium, he says, God bless.
God bless.
The drop we always play is Tim Tebow walking off a podium. I think that anytime that you are vocally in favor of a religion, that you are judged for that. Rightly, wrongly, whatever it is, people will love you for it and people will hate you for it.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of what is going on with Tim Tebow. And I think that when you're an athlete at his level, and he is, in my opinion, the greatest college quarterback ever. Is he a great pro quarterback? Well, I don't know because I don't think he got a great run. He won a playoff game by throwing the football. And I think Tim Tebow has been reduced to a sideshow. Here's the good news. He's going to get a chance to prove all the haters wrong. And if he can catch a football, if he can block, if he can line up split and be an H-back, I think he's going to make the Jacksonville Jaguars because I think he can contribute as a football player.
Yeah.
There is no difference between a guy like a Tim Tebow and Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill was a quarterback in college who is not going to be a full-time quarterback in the NFL. And if the Saints choose to go that route, which I don't think they will, but if they go that route, Taysom Hill's going to get a chance to prove everybody wrong. And my feeling is that Taysom Hill is a weapon on a football field. I think Tim Tebow's a weapon on a football field.
Yeah.
Just because he went and played baseball doesn't mean that Tim Tebow somehow forgot how to be a great athlete. I think the God thing is why people judge him and hate him so much.
Yeah.
I think it's akin to Michael Sam, announcing that he's gay.
Uh-huh.
Everybody, then paid attention to the gay football player, not the defensive end from Missouri. And so
Yeah.
when Tim Tebow is a God guy, well, Tim Tebow's a God guy and he's a football player. And so there's a lot of people who will root against him. Now, he knelt before every game and nobody tried to kick him out of the league.
Mm-hmm.
But Colin Kaepernick knelt before games and all of a sudden it was a huge crisis and you got to get out of the league and we can't have you here.
Yeah.
There is a double standard. There always has been and there always will be. The bottom line is Tim Tebow's going to get a chance to prove people wrong. And I love that, Fox and ESPN and idiot Skip Bayless and all these guys, Colin Cowherd, and all these guys can sit up there and say it's a joke and a farce and that Tim Tebow should retire and this is unbelievable. I would just ask you one question. Why do you care?
Yeah.
Why are you so heavily rooting against Tim Tebow? What did he ever do to you?
Yeah.
How did it become personal? Because when I hear people say, oh, you shouldn't chase your dream, the dream's dead. You're an idiot. Go retire. Make some money. Plan for your retirement. Who are you to tell me that my dream's dead?
Yeah.
You know who gets to tell Tim Tebow his dream's dead? Urban Meyer. And probably the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who probably is Urban Meyer. If Urban Meyer wants Tim Tebow on his football team, guess what? Tebow's going to be there. Will he have deserved it? Oh, it's only a favor. Who cares? Tim Tebow's there.
Yep.
Is Tim Tebow productive as a football player? He'll be there. Does Urban Meyer want him there? He'll be there. Is he not productive? Does Urban not want him there? He won't be there. There are only 53 spots on a football roster. Why do you care so much? Why are people so pissed that Tim Tebow's going to get a chance to play football in the NFL?
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. I don't get it either.
I've never understood it.
Yeah.
Sean Mierzinski says Urban Meyer isn't going to last his first contract. I think he will. I absolutely think he will. Tanner Plummer says unleash Tim Tebow. Yeah. Okay. Now there's some every day we get Mike James comments now.
Here we go.
What? Okay.
What is he saying? Oh,
the hoodie
probably.
Jeremy Bolton says the hoodie probably says Mike James is the GOAT. Wow, did you leak that? How did they know we put that on the hoodie? Anyway, what? And then Eric C says Tebow sounds like Jake's dating pool in Utah.
Yeah, trash.
Pretty much, and they're all on their knees.
Yeah.
Wow.
God bless.
Hey,
Wow. Wow.
Well, Jake,
Slurpification has just showed up.
Jake wishes.
Slurpification.
So, anyway.
Let's talk about it. I'm a good listener.
Kirk Lazarus says, good thing for the Jazz that the Warriors in Memphis played close games. Yeah, probably. John I'm saying says there's no way Tim Tebow could block someone like TJ Watt.
What?
I wouldn't underestimate Tim Tebow.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing, right? If it's Tim Tebow, oh, there's no way he can block TJ Watt. Oh, but if it's this guy, well, he's got a fighting chance.
Fat Jesus says Tim Tebow is the Nickelback of the NFL.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Why do you hate Nickelback? I don't know either. I just do. Eric C says, when's the merch line coming out? The branding is almost
Very
done.
soon.
The branding
Very
is almost
soon.
done.
I think we agreed on
some branding last night.
Yeah.
We have a firm that's
We got a guy.
We got
he
to
does
do
stuff, you know?
things.
Yeah.
He's working on some branding for us, so as soon as that's done. Jeremy Bolton says, if I'm not able to listen to the segment where you announce the winner tomorrow, will you let us know? No, Jeremy Bolton, if you win, you didn't win. You know. Jeremy, if you win
You'll know about it, bro.
PS5, you will know about it. We're coming for you. Tanner Plummer says, at Fat Jesus, I love Nickelback. Well, you know, I mean.
I love that show.
Yeah. Eric C. says Mike James is the finals MVP. Probably. I don't, you know, look, that's what makes this show great. Is we probably should make a Mike James NBA Finals MVP sweatshirt. We probably should. I think Mike James would think that's funny.
Yeah, probably.
I think he probably would.